So the question I want to have, I have for Mr. Cisse and the whole government, not just Cisse. I mean, Cisse is just a mouthpiece who actually doesn't know any detail about this thing. I mean, he would go on TV and say anything. So it's actually pointless to address Dr. Cisse himself.
Okay.
He has no idea what he's talking about. But I want to address the whole government.
Okay.
Now, the question is it only now, after Mustafa Dabo's report, that you are becoming aware?
That's what the president said.
Well, so this is the question.
Yeah.
Is it only now that you are becoming aware that things were not done properly with regards to Jammeh Commission? If that is the case, that is the biggest indictment of your incompetence and your own complicity in this whole thing. Because you are the government. Remember, you are the first government after a dictatorship. A government like that has been entrusted with a very big responsibility of carrying out transitional justice. You, government, actually made this commission, set up this commission. You would think your first responsibility would be, after this commission has done its job, you have a clear look at it. After all, you published a white paper. If you had any misgivings about the commission and its job, that should have come out at that point in 2019 after they completed their job.
Yeah.
If you had any misgivings or any questions about whether they carried out their job, that was when it should have come out. And let's say you found out some things after that 2019. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do something about it? Why didn't you do further investigation? Why is it that 6 years, or 6 years after that, is now you are coming out and saying something about your unhappiness or supposed unhappiness about the commission? Is it that you have no responsibility? Unless you are pushed by people, you won't go and do your job as the government of the country. I mean, you have the whole of the government machinery at your disposal. Why is it that it's now? If it's really the case that the commission didn't do its job, why is it that it's only now you are discussing that? The fact of the matter here is that this commission, what the government is trying to do through their mouthpiece is basically trying to shift responsibility. They've been caught basically sleeping at the wheel. I mean, in the most positive spin that you can put here, is that they are completely sleeping at the wheel. But as we know, members of that government themselves have been complicit in the corruption that has been uncovered. So here what is happening is that they have been caught in a situation where evidence now has been dug up and shown by an independent investigative reporter to show the wrongs that have been committed during this government by some members of this government. They have no answer to that. So the best they can do is to shift blame.
Blames, yeah.
And now they are trying to spin this narrative that the commission somehow didn't do its job, or the people who were in the commission, who work with the commission, are from a different political party. But even if you try to spin that narrative, what you are essentially telling the Gambian people is that we as a government, we cannot, something like this, something major, a major part of transitional justice, a commission of inquiry, when it was happening, was such a major event. We could not even be bothered to do proper investigation to make sure that it was done right.
And the spinning will not work because you and I will not accept it. We have platforms, we have voices. We are going to tell the Gambian people what the truth is. The truth is, the commission that they are telling us that did not do their job, the report that the Ministry of Justice presented, the list of vehicles that were sold, the list of scrap that was sold, and other personal items of the president, the only list that we saw came from the commission.
Yes.
The sales of the commission, at least we have some list of names, how much they have been bought for.
Exactly.
Whether I agree with the price or not, that came from the commission.
Exactly.
We have seen scraps there, who bought them, tractors, who bought them, the cars, who bought them. We have seen all of that.
Exactly.
And the cattle, that was a court order. It was sold by the sheriff division. The sheriff division is part of government.
Yes.
We have not seen the list. What does this tell us?
Exactly.
The sheriff division is part of the government. We have not seen the detailed list of the sales they have made, but we have seen the detailed list of all the items that was sold through the commission.
Exactly.
What does this tell us? The commission report was more effective. At least we have seen all of the list of people that have bought, even though we don't agree. So you cannot tell us that the commission didn't. No, the commission gave you the details. Exactly. But the second thing is, and that is why I keep saying to people, let's forget about the cars and others, the assets. The commission identified 226 properties of the former president and his associates. And later on, we also came to realize that allegedly, Pa Bojang, the president's cousin, came and identified additional properties that were from the former presidents. We don't know how much these properties are. The government never came out and told us these were the additional properties. They never told us. But out of the let's just even say out of the 226, the only list that the government gave us is 44 out of the 226. The rest, they didn't tell us whether they are sold, I saw something that Ismaila is saying, most of them are kept. How much is kept? How many cars are at the State House? Where are the rest? Exactly. You are not giving us numbers. You are just saying some. That is not what we're asking for. We're asking for a total transparency. So if you look at all of this, the commission list we have seen, the sales that were done by the government, we have not seen.
Exactly.
From the properties to the cattle and all that, it was done by the sheriff division. Exactly. Even though under the commission knew about it because they had to go to court because people were stealing the cattle, but it was done by the sheriff division. We have not seen the list of the properties that were sold or allocated, because some of them were allocated, they were not sold to. Who were they allocated to? What was the criteria and why were they allocated to them? These are things that we need to put out and for people to know. Exactly. We cannot be fooled by certain statements because we are able to read and understand. What do you think of,
No, I mean, the point here is obvious to everyone. Yes, like you said, the commission, and as many people rightly raised the issue of some of these items were sold at ridiculous prices, fire sale prices, in fact. So if you can fold the commission, maybe, it will definitely be some of those things, the price just, didn't make any sense. Yeah. But at least we have a list. Now the government, especially, again, we go to Batambedu, who was Minister of Justice at the time. Yeah. If the courts, the things that were sold by through the government, we should have a complete list of that. Yeah. And also what I don't understand is how can this government, in fact, without any sense of shame, talk about some cattle were being stolen. We are talking about cattle located in some central location. Yeah. Close to which there is a military barracks. There is no shortage of law enforcement officials. Yeah. Jammeh's places were actually fenced. There is no shortage of places where you could put livestock in the Gambia to actually protect them. Yeah. What does that tell you about the competence of this government? That people, they're actually saying that they had to roast and sell this cattle because they have been stolen. Yeah. Does that tell, does that tell you that, what does that tell you about the level of responsibility that we have? The fact that you as a government can release that statement without feeling any sense of shame and embarrassment, saying that basically I'm failing, I have to go and sell this cattle because I'm so terrible at doing my job. Wow. Would a private individual, be able to get away with such an excuse that some asset has been entrusted to me, I had to rush and sell it because they were being stolen, when you actually have the means of protecting them in some enclosure? This is the government. Yeah. There is no shortage of facilities where you can put thousands and thousands of livestock. You have law enforcement officers, you have security officers all over the country. At the same time, you have over 7,000 soldiers from outside of the country that are present. Yeah. How can people be coming and stealing livestock at the former president's facilities?
But even his houses, where are the gold? People said former president had a lot of gold, so he has a lot of precious coins. He had all of these things. These are not reported anywhere to say, this where are they, this is how.
And did we hear anyone being prosecuted or arrested for stealing the cattle? No. No attempt was done to investigate. Think about that. If they were serious, they would actually start investigating, say, because some of these cattle are very distinctive. Yeah.
Someone told me these cattle are from Morocco. They are high maintenance. You could not even maintain them properly here. So these are things that were very pricey because he didn't even buy those cattle here. They came from Morocco.
So there was no effort done at protecting these things. So at best, if you really want to excuse these people, the best advice you can tell is you can provide for this government is that they are just incompetent. If somebody is very clueless at doing something, you can't really blame them much because the responsibility you are entrusting upon them is higher than what they can deliver. That's the best. Now, if that's the best excuse you can give to this government, if they want to accept that, well, let them take it. But other than that, it's malicious, basically incompetent or in complicity in corruption. Lack of ethics here and corruption, that's what's involved here.